Hello YouTube, this is EM3, Making Metal Mine. Metallic Mindstein coming to you from the Metals Performance Station for a money-saving lesson. Let's get in. Alright, so I spoke to you guys recently about using discount postage in order to save money of up to 30%, maybe even more, on shipping your heavy metal packages or anything that you ship through the U.S. Postal Service. Let's have a closer look so that we can learn a little bit more about this so we can put it into use and get started on saving us some moolah. So first of all, how is this even possible? How can you get something for 30% of face value? You know, how does that even make sense? Well, the way that it works, there are stamps that were printed and produced and sold by the U.S. Postal Service 5, 10, 20 years ago when the shipping rate was less, so like 32 cents to send a flat rate envelope. These stamps still hold their value of 32 cents, but they just can't ship a letter as is. So a lot of times, one of two things have happened. Either somebody had bought up a whole bunch at a lower rate, or there were collectors who had collected these thinking that, you know, because there was a stamp in 1931 that is now worth $1,000 per stamp, that if they collected stamps, you know, they're going to be worth a lot. The sad thing is, in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and still today, stamps are produced in too large of quantities to ever be worth anything more than face value, except for a few rare exceptions. I would say less than 1%. If you play the game and gamble and hope that you win out, you're going to spend more on all the stamps that don't go up, and it's just not going to be worth it. Okay? Now, this gives us a buying opportunity because a lot of times these stamp collections come onto the market through eBay and stamp dealers, stamp stores, coin collecting, stamp and coin collecting stores, etc. So we get onto eBay and we search for discount postage. I'm going to put the link, or I'm going to put a description, a title, and maybe the item number of one of the listings that he has right now of a lot that this gentleman, he puts together first class rate combo lots. So by that, he puts in a 45-cent stamp and a 4-cent stamp. That's showing the one below. These red ones right here are 4 cents. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's upside down. And it makes a 49-cent combo that you can put on any first-class letter and send it through the mail. 2 stamps for a first-class rate. Well, I had bought another lot that the rate expired. Since the rate went up to 49 cents, it was not good anymore. These right here are a 15 and 32, so that's a 47-cent combo, so they can't be used as is anymore. So check the description for the username and also the item number of one of these first-class combo lots, and you can go from there searching other eBay listings. A thing to do when you're buying off of eBay and you're buying these discount postage lots is to use your coupons. There's either eBucks promotion, sometimes they'll be general for anything over $50, anything over $10, no limit, and there'll be eBucks returns of 6%, 10%, 8%, something like that. So you're looking at eBay, discount postage, you try to find some, buy it now at like 30% off, so 70% of face value or so, maybe 25% off. Use a coupon at the same time. I've gotten 2 of these coupons, $15 off of $75, but you have to put the items in your cart, not paying for one at a time, because it may take 2 or 3 items. Now, on this guy's listings, you can just add, quantity times 2, quantity times 3 to come up to $75. Use your coupon, and it takes off even more. Another place that you could look is Craigslist. Maybe you find somebody who's actually getting rid of one of these stamp collections. If you can get the whole stamp collection at 80% of face value, 70% of face value, depends on how much time you want to invest. Getting it at face value may be worthwhile if they have some rare stamps involved, but that's just unlikely. Most discount postage buyers, so the stamp stores or whatever, the stamp hobby stores, they only pay about 30%, maybe 50% of face value for those collections. So, you know, see what's out there, check on Craigslist. The other thing you can do to get discount postage is using Office Depot, OfficeMax, etc. See what they have sometimes, they will sell stamps in their store to help their business customers. And if they sell a forever stamp, and somebody has built up a lot of their rewards points through OfficeMax, Office Depot, etc., and they're trying to get rid of them, they may pick up these, a book, a block, a page of these forever stamps just to use up their rewards points that may be about to expire, etc. Also, if you're going to be buying at Office Depot, OfficeMax, etc., see if they have any coupons. If they have a $5 off a $50 purchase, use that to get your forever stamps. You get it at a little bit of a discount. You'll see users on eBay selling these forever stamps at a discount as well. If that works for you, using your eBay coupon, using your rewards credit card, go ahead. Just be sure and use your own due diligence because, you know, China, even in the United States, unscrupulous people have copied, especially these forever stamps, and made counterfeit ones. And if you see a seller that is only selling a huge lot, thousands of pages of these forever stamps, that's a big warning sign that something may not be right. So point number 2, watch out for counterfeits. The thing is, if you're buying a bulk lot of discount stamps that are all different denominations, all different years, you know, the likelihood that there are any counterfeits in there are extremely, extremely, extremely low. You should be safe, okay? Should be. You know, is it a guarantee? No, it's not. You know, the next question is, will the post office know if there are, you know, 1 or 2 counterfeits on there? You don't want to do that. You know, that's being dishonest. You're not doing it by knowledge. I'm just saying in order for you to avoid it, you know, try to look out. Don't be buying something where he's got too large of quantity of just one stamp. All right. Next question. How to use your discount postage. How do you use these? You know, what do you do once you have them? Once you're ready to save money and you have your stamps, what do you do in order to use them? All right. The easiest thing is to get an envelope that is a paper envelope or a paper box, because all of your stamps will stick to that as long as they're not ones that say no gum, no glue. You know, these have the glue already on there. You'll have to use glue if they don't. But still, the same rule applies to your paper envelopes and your paper boxes. Anything with glue, anything with this gum on the back is going to stick to these. One thing you do have to look out for are these bubble mailers and other types of plastic mailers where the glue is not going to automatically stick to those. You're going to have a little bit more trouble there. Tyvek, I think my experience has been with Tyvek, with these right here, that it'll stick to them, it just doesn't stick that well. So a lot of times if I do put any on these, and you can kind of do the same thing with these bubble mailers, is you put a row of the lick and stick, and then on top of it and below it you put a row of the peel and stick, or you put, you know, with the 2-inch shipping tape or some other 2-inch shipping tape is good. It's nice and sticky and thin and clear. You put a thin row at the bottom and a thin row at the top, you know, especially if it's a sheet, you know, and you put 3 of these rows, you could put a little bit of tape just barely overlapping the bottom and the top to help hold it on there. The sides too, if necessary, or use some peel and stick to secure the sides. But here's what you do. You've got your envelope. You fill in the information, so you're going to take up that space. You want to leave this open for them to scan it when they're scanning how much this is going to cost, because this is a flat rate envelope. You leave this space open, and you'll also want to leave a space about 2 inches by about 4 inches up here on the top right. That is where the label will go, And actually down here usually is where they will put the tracking label. So you want it for them to scan that, and also for them to have space to put the tracking label there, and 2 inches by about 4 inches up here. Leave them blank. You filled in your information. All this other space, you know, don't block out priority mail, but all this other space can be used for putting on your stamps. So you figure out how many you'll fit, you tear them off, you lick and stick, put them on there, or use a sponge, a moist sponge, to make sure it's not too wet. Yeah, I've used one before that was too wet, and it kind of like removed the gum, the glue from there, and then it was hard to get them to stick. So not too wet. Lick and stick if you don't mind the taste. I've done that many a times. All right, so you figure out your space, you put them on there. Obviously, this priority flat rate envelope is going to have more space on it than this little bubble mailer. So you want to keep that in mind when you're figuring out what stamps to put on, if you're going to be able to use discount postage on that package. If you have small denomination stamps, like 15 cents or less, you're going to want to make sure that your package is big so you can put them all on there. Because if you have a bunch of 3-cent stamps and you try to put them on here, you're only going to get 45 cents worth of stamps on one envelope. All right, so we covered gum, glue, lick and stick stamps versus peel and stick and how to use those. Make sure it's paper of some form in order to use the lick and stick. Space availability, make sure that you have enough space available on there to ship or to add the amount of postage that you need to. And that leads us to the point of know the rate. This is very important. You know, on packages like this that are a flat rate shipping box, that was a small flat rate box. This is a recycled, somebody uses to pad something on the inside, but it's a flat rate padded envelope. On this Tyvek one here, not a flat rate. It's going to depend on the weight. On this one right here, it is a flat rate envelope. You know how much it is. The rate just went up, so it's like $6.50, I believe. But you're going to want to know what the rate is. The other way that you can figure that out is, let's pretend that this is a scale, and you put your package on there, on the scale, and it'll tell you what the weight is. You can use the online postage calculator in order to figure out how much it should cost based on a flat rate, based on a first class rate or a priority rate. All right? So you get your package all ready. You don't seal it up yet necessarily, but you get, you know, if you don't have it closed up and you're going to be putting tape on it, you might want to add something just to add a little bit of weight to make sure that you put enough on there, but you don't want to overpay. So you put it on the scale, you figure out what the weight is, and then you use the postage calculator online, not for the online rate, but for the stamped rate, and you figure out what the cost is going to be. You get the stamps on there, you know, minus this space up here at the top. And I always leave like 20 cents shy, 20 cents to 50 cents shy of what the actual rate is. That way, when you go to the post office, they will calculate what you have on there. You go ahead and calculate what you have on there. You calculate it. I'm going to go ahead and write that on there too. Know the rate. And then the other thing is, once you get your stamps on there, write down how much is on there. This is bouncing, sorry. How much you added or stuck onto the letter, okay? You write that down. Boy, it looks like a kid's writing this. I shouldn't have done it on my scale. Write it down. Know what you added. All right? Write that up here where your one label is going to go. Write it up there because they're going to put the label over there. And what else was I saying? Oh, and so you just put them on there so that your stamps are just, you know, a couple cents shy or 50 cents shy, something like that. They go up there, they weigh it, they'll calculate it, they see what you wrote, they calculate it as well, they verify, and then they will put the label across here with the added postage. You'll have to pay for that there at the post office. Then they'll put the tracking label down there, and that's it. It's sealed up, it's stamped, it's labeled, you got tracking, you send it off. Okay? I think that's everything. Buy discount postage. Use coupons if possible. eBay bucks can help you out sometimes. Or if you have eBay bucks that you're trying to spend, you know, discount postage is a way to go. Watch out for counterfeits. Again, there should be some glaring warning signs, but if you're buying these old retired rates, you know, and everything, it shouldn't be an issue. You should be fine on all of those. How to use it: gum versus peel and stick. Making sure you have space availability. Know what the rate is ahead of time. Get it calculated, get it figured out. And then write it down on there how much you added so that you know, so when they calculate it, they can verify and you'll be confident that they gave you the right value for what you had on there. Now, here's a disclaimer. Doing all this takes a little bit more time. It really does. What is your time worth? If this only ends up saving you, you know, on a smaller $2.50 shipping item, if it only ends up saving you 30 cents, it's probably not worth your time. If you're shipping lots of these priority flat rate envelopes, you know, you could go ahead and get 10 of them ready that have the stamps added on there if you're careful about writing the address so you don't ever have to like redo one of them. But you can go ahead and get some stamps added on there to save time when you do it all at once. But time is a factor. On a package like this, $6, saving 30 cents, $6.50, saves you about $2. You know, if you're shipping 5 of these, 10 of these a week, that adds up. It means more silver. But it does take time, so be aware of that. And you make the judgment based on your availability of time to search for the deals on eBay and to get these ready, adding stamps, whether it's worthwhile to you. All right, if you have any questions, be sure and ask those down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to me for a money-saving lesson at the Metals Performance Station. Y'all take care. Have a good one.